Good morning, sports fans. It's June 17th, 2025, and you're watching episode 2 of SportScope Daily. Let's jump right into the top headlines from yesterday's matchups. Tennis wildcard Dan Evans delivered a classic underdog story, toppling world number 13, Frances Tiafoe in straight sets. Set 1, 7-5, and 6-2 in set 2 at Queen's Club. It was impossible not to feel the crowd as he claimed his first top 20 win since 2023. The 35-year-old Brit, ranked 199th, leveraged his signature backhand slice in courtcraft to dismantle a powerful American opponent. After the first set saw Evans claw back from down 5-4, the second began with a dazzling 5-game streak that sealed the match with flair. His victory wasn't just strategic, it was deeply emotional. A public statement reaffirming his appetite for top-tier competition. In post-match reflection, Evans admitted he hasn't always known if he, quote, still had it, but today's performance proved beyond doubt that he does. This wasn't just a win, it was a redemption tour moment, the kind fans dream of waking up to. The taste of victory was rich and utterly well-deserved. In WTA action, Paula Badosa began her grass court season in Berlin with a commanding 6-1, 6-3 win over Germany's Eva Lees, breaking serve 3 times and never letting her opponent find rhythm. Her first-round display showcased both power and control, riding momentum from a quarterfinal run in Strasbourg and a comeback win over Naomi Osaka at Roland Garros. Badosa's clinical performance in Berlin reaffirms her as a formidable force on grass. Emma Navarro, ranked number 9, saved a match point in London to down Beatrice Haddad-Maia and reach the Queen's Club quarterfinals, demonstrating grit and resilience over nearly 3 hours of intense play. Just days earlier, Navarro captured her second career WTA title in Merida with an extraordinary double bagel 6-0, 6-0 victory in the final, an emphatic stamp of her growing dominance. Yesterday, Navarro dispatched Marta Kostyuk in straight sets, 6-2 and 6-3. With Badosa's aggressive serve and Navarro's fearless baseline tenacity, both clicking, fans are treated to 2 of the most in-form and compelling top 10 players as grass season intensifies in Berlin. Moving on with our broadcast, we head over to soccer, where in Club World Cup action, Chelsea asserted full control with a clinical 2-0 victory over LAFC, opening the scoring through Pedro Neto's 34th minute strike before Enzo Fernandez sealed the deal in the 80th. Headline-worthy dominance on both ends of the pitch, the Blues dictated possession, unleashed swift counterattacks, and impressed with tactical depth, featuring a strong debut from Liam Delap, who set up Fernandez's finish. Meanwhile, Flamengo RJ showed similar dominance, cruising to a 2-0 win over Esperance of Tunis, with De Arrascaeta and Luis Araujo delivering the decisive goals and maintaining 80% control throughout. Both teams showcased sharp cohesion and offensive precision, Chelsea with their new signings connecting fluidly in midfield, Flamengo driving relentless pressure and kills. These results firmly put them atop Group D and set the stage for a high-stakes showdown when they meet later this week. Boca Juniors and Benfica served up a real Club World Cup classic in Miami Gardens, with Boca storming into a 2-0 lead through Morentil and Battaglia before Benfica roared back. Di Maria converting a VAR-awarded penalty and Otamendi equalizing in the 84th minute. The fiery game featured 3 red cards and 22 total fouls, ultimately finishing 2-2 in an electrifying contest full of drama. Now, on to the Gold Cup, where Panama announced their arrival with a dominant 5-2 victory over Guadeloupe, blasting into a 4-0 lead inside the first 22 minutes courtesy of 2 early strikes from Ismael Diaz, a Christian Martinez opener, and a penalty from Eduardo Guerrero. Though Guadeloupe fought back, Jordan Laborni scored shortly after halftime and Florian David converted a late penalty. Panama sealed the win late through youngster Tomas Rodriguez. They controlled the game with 63% possession, racking up 23 shots to Guadeloupe's 14, and showcased aggressive intent throughout. Meanwhile, in Carson, Guatemala pulled off a 1-0 upset over Jamaica, their first ever Gold Cup win over the Reggae Boys. Thanks to a first-half strike by Oscar Santis in the 32nd minute, under coach Luis Fernando Tena, Guatemala delivered a disciplined, cornered performance, emphasizing possession and defensive solidity to hold off persistent Jamaican pressure. This result places Jamaica on the back foot in Group C, while Panama and Guatemala now top the table and will meet later this week with momentum on their backs. And in Poland, Start Lublin set the tone early and never let up, storming ahead with a 26-16 first-quarter blitz that rattled Legia from the opening tip. They carried that aggression into the second quarter, extending the lead to 49-35 by halftime. Effectively dictating the tempo, Lublin's defense was suffocating, holding Legia's scores in check while forcing hurried shots and loose balls. They continued to smother their opponents through the third, maintaining a double-digit cushion as Legia struggled to find rhythm. Even when Legia tried to mount a late surge in the final period, Lublin responded with smart rotations, timely offense, and composure under pressure. Standouts like Emmanuel Lecomte and Cameron McGusty stepped up at crunch time, drilling critical buckets that sealed the momentum. In the end, Lublin's full-court intensity and unwavering confidence defined the game. This was pressure, precision, and dominance baked into a single performance. Last night at a Paycom Center, the Oklahoma City Thunder edged past the Indiana Pacers 120-109, grabbing a pivotal 3-2 lead in the NBA Finals. Jalen Williams exploded for a career-high 40 points, including an electrifying 11-point burst during a decisive fourth-quarter surge. In tandem, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander delivered 31 points, 10 assists, and 4 blocks, embodying MVP-level dominance with every possession. The Thunder rediscovered their rhythm from deep, splashing 14 three-pointers after a cold shooting Game 4. Bench firepower was real as Aaron Wiggins and Cason Wallace connected on 6 trays in the first half, setting a scorching pace. Oklahoma City's offense hummed with fluid ball movement, 10 assists in quarter one alone, creating space for their shooters. Mid-game, Indiana battled back from an 18-point gap, closing to within 2. Then Williams silenced the crowd with a clutch three-pointer. A late 10-0 run effectively sealed the win for OKC, shifting momentum back in their favor. Turnovers were a decisive edge. Oklahoma City forced 23, turning them into 32 fast break points. Indiana's star, Tyrese Halliburton, struggled, totaling just 4 points on 0 for 6 shooting, clearly limited by a lingering leg issue. Pascal Siakam was steady with 28 points, but costly mistakes and frustration marred his night. TJ McConnell provided sparks off the bench with his 18 points, including a brief revival run in the third quarter. Chet Holmgren anchored the paint with 11 rebounds and 3 blocks, thwarting Indiana's interior push. This dominant night was fueled by fresh perimeter shooting and remade depth, a stark contrast to Game 4. For the first time this postseason, Indiana lost back-to-back games, raising serious questions about their fatigue and depth. Statistically, teams winning Game 5 after a 2-2 tie go on to clinch the title 74% of the time. History is on OKC's side. With a 3-2 lead, the Thunder now need just one more win for their first finals victory since 1979. Thursday's matchup boils down to if Indiana can regroup and knock them off with a home win, where they've been deadly this postseason. The tension builds, and the consequences couldn't be higher. Pacing, poise, perimeter, and big game performance, the Thunder delivered it all in Game 5. If they keep this up, championships aren't a hope, they're a certainty. At Nationals Park, Washington stormed back from an early 2-0 deficit thanks to Jake Irvin's steady 6-inning outing, keeping the Rockies off the scoreboard amid rising tension. The Nationals seized momentum in the 5th inning with solo homers from Dalen Lyle and James Wood, vaulting ahead 4-3 and energizing the home crowd. Irvin, rarely ruffled, said after the contest, quote, "The skid looks tough, but we're pulling for each other. We believe in each other." His composure set the tone for a team fighting back. But in the 9th inning, closer Kyle Finnegan faltered, giving up 2 crushing homers that turned celebration into agony. He admitted, quote, "trying to do too much, just really wanting to get a win." The stadium's roar turned to silence, highlighting how close they came to ending the 9-game skid. Manager Dave Martinez acknowledged the emotional roller coaster, but emphasized, quote, "It's nights like this that test the character of your team." At Dodger Stadium, Shohei Ohtani finally returned to the mound for the Dodgers, but his comeback was a sharp reminder of the road ahead. He lasted just 1 inning, giving up 1 run on 2 hits in a 28-pitch outing. His fastball still touched 102 miles per hour, but the Padres roughed him up early, surrendering a leadoff single and a sacrifice fly to Mancini that put SD ahead. Despite a rocky frame, Clout came at the plate. He drove in a run with a double in the third and added an RBI single in the fourth, fueling the Dodgers' 6-3 win. Even as he labored on the mound, Ohtani showed resilience, retiring the side in order to avoid further damage. Manager Dave Roberts and GM Brandon Gomes praised his fastball command and recovery pace, though both acknowledged this outing was just the first step in his rehab journey. Ohtani himself admitted he's not quite happy with the result, but emphasized feeling strong enough to make another start in the near future. For fans, it was a sweet homecoming to see his return to the mound. And now, here are the must-watch matchups for today. At 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Taylor Fritz launches his Queens Club campaign against Corentin Moutet as a steep -600 favorite. He's riding high off a Stuttgart title and serve dominance. In Serbia's Super League playoffs, Partizan enter heavily favored over FMP Beograd on the back of flawless recent performances. Over in MLB, the Giants are -164 chalk against the Guardians, while Houston visits Oakland with the Astros in firm control given their current form. WNBA action features the Liberty taking on the Dream. Liberty -8 points, Moneyline -375. Connecticut Sun facing the Fever. Sun -15, 5 points. And the Storm projected to outgun the Sparks with an 84% chance to win. Today's schedule also includes high-stakes soccer as both the Club World Cup and Gold Cup continue. Keep an eye on Canada versus Honduras and Curacao versus El Salvador for potential Gold Cup fireworks. That's our jam-packed day of premium matchups and sharp betting lines. Let's see who comes through tonight. That's it for today's Rundown, sports fans. Tune in tomorrow for more headlines, highlights, and heart-stopping moments from around the world of sports. Until then, stay sharp, stay passionate, and keep your eyes on the game. This is SportScope Daily, signing off. Have a great day.